So, what if there was a 3 step simple system to help you drop 15 pounds in the next 10 weeks that you could implement within the next 5 to 10 minutes of watching this video? Well, I can tell you right now, if you are watching this and you're a guy in his 40s or 50s who is just not happy with his physical appearance, maybe you see yourself in a picture when you're on a vacation, you're like, oh my gosh, am I actually that fat? Or maybe you go to the pool or the beach or wherever you take your shirt off, and maybe your wife is in much better shape than you, and you start to feel a little insecure, right? Even though you look around and like every guy your age is getting worse when it comes to their health, I can promise you that if you have any desire whatsoever to lose 15 to 20 pounds, this is going to be a quick start fat loss system that you can implement right after watching this video. My name is Josiah Novak. I have coached guys in their 40s, 50s, and beyond for the better part of 20 years. Guys who don't want to get stuck in the fat husband body that we just see everywhere we go, airports, malls, restaurants, you name it, right? The guys you work with, the people you're surrounded by, everybody seems to just be getting overweight. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person you see on social media who has a physical presence that commands respect. And so we got to start with the first thing that most guys skip over entirely, and that is up here, our identity. How do we actually view ourselves? We got to like start to explore this stuff because most of the time we ignore it. We don't even consider the mind games that we play with ourselves. We just go about our day, we crush it in our job or our career or business, do our best to be a great husband, do our best to be a great parent, do our best to be a great friend, and we put everything else in front of our health. And then we look at health as this like really, really crazy, complicated puzzle. And we start to wonder like, how did I ever maintain a better shape before? Like, how did I do it? Like, I'm confused. Like, I don't understand how I was leaner before. It seems like my metabolism has slowed down. But really what it comes down to is we just don't prioritize things mentally the way we used to. And so we have to buy into this idea that our identity can change. We don't have to be the overweight guy. We don't have to be the guy who is insecure taking his shirt off, or the guy that drinks too much, or the guy that eats too much, or whatever. We can change. We could change that if we're aware of our current identity. So we need to take a look at that, and we need to start implementing changes right now that align with the version of you that you're aiming to be. Because at the end of the day, your body right now, if you're anything like the guys I work with, the body you have right now does not reflect who you truly are as a man. And that starts to eat away at you. So it's why I put together the ripped body roadmap for men in their 40s, 50s, and older who are not ready to give up on looking good. They see their spouse, they see people that come across their social media, they see guys that are older or the same age as them who are in good shape, and they're like, I want to have that. So if you're that guy, I put together a resource for you. It is called the Ripped Body Roadmap. Just comment ripped below this video and it'll outline in insane detail my thoughts and my direction on how to build a plan that works for you. So what's the next thing we need to do? Well, we need to implement a movement protocol. Okay. We need to look at our week and our days and say, where can I start to fit in more activity? Because here's the thing, the guys who are lean, the guys who have abs, who have muscular definition, who look good with their shirt off, look good with their shirt on, they start to see the lines, the shoulders, everything coming in. Those guys move more than the average person. I'm not saying you have to walk 15,000 steps a day or walk miles and miles and miles and run and run and run. Like, I'm not saying that. You don't have to become a cardio bunny. What you do need to do, though, is take a look at your average steps, which you can probably find on your phone because your phone does track your steps, or a smartwatch or an Apple Watch, or like the Whoop strap that we give a lot of our clients. If you have one of those devices, you should be able to see how many steps you're taking. Now, a lot of you might be like, dude, I walk enough. I'm very active. You don't have to tell me to move more. No worries. I totally believe you. And I think that walking for a lot of you might already be handled. But if you're not moving at least 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day, we need to start adjusting that. Now, if you are moving and you're like, hey, I'd like to ramp up the effectiveness of my movement. Well, one strategy that you can use right now is you can rock a weight vest when you walk. I'm not saying to wear a weight vest all the time. That could put a huge amount of damage on your knees and your lower back. But maybe for 15 minutes a day, you walk with a weight vest on just to improve the cardio output from the walking that you're already doing. But a lot of you are going to go, I hit my steps. I am moving enough. And then we got to zoom out and we got to say, okay, instead of just looking at yesterday, I want you to look at the past 30 days. What is your average step count for the last 30 days? If it's not in that 6,000 to 8,000 or even above average range, then we need to move more. Okay. Because it's just hard as heck to lose body fat and be in shape if you're not moving enough. But once again, it doesn't have to disrupt your whole entire life. Part of what we build with our clients is a system, an operating system, so that this kind of stuff just fits nicely into your schedule, your day, without really any stress. Part of what I outline in the Ripped Body Roadmap, if you want to copy, just comment the word ripped, is how to set this up. Okay. Which leads me to step number 2 in this process of quick start fat loss. We need to schedule 3 workouts per week with weights. Put it on your calendar, non-negotiable. Now, if you train at home and you have some dumbbells and a barbell and maybe some kind of machine setup, great. We need to use that. Okay. A good split for a lot of guys is upper, lower, upper. So you do like push, legs, pull, where you do your push upper body muscles, your legs on day 2, and then your back and biceps and stuff on day 3. In between, you have a day of rest. And then you leave the weekends open for maybe a fun workout, maybe just being active, maybe getting stuff done with the family, whatever the case may be. You don't have to necessarily train every day or 4 or 5 days a week if you don't have time. 3 days is a good starting point. But what are we supposed to do with our training sessions? Are we supposed to just like go crazy with reps? Don't rest between sets? Like, should I be sweating and out of breath? Like, what does that need to look like? And my suggestion is very simple. You need to get stronger. You need to get stronger, man. You need to progressively overload your body. That goes for all body parts. There's no body part that is immune to the need for progressive overload. You need to make things harder over time. I'm not saying go in there and kill yourself with training and high intensity and all this crazy stuff. I'm saying over time, I need to see you getting stronger. And if we're not, we need to change exercises. We need to work on form. We need to work on exercise execution. And we need to become a stronger version of you over the course of the next 3 to 6 months. And then potentially beyond that, and always working to better ourselves from the version we were a couple weeks ago. That's how we approach training. Training should always be about building muscle or maintaining muscle. It's never about how many calories we can burn or how fast we can move through the workout and how out of breath we can be and how, we feel like we're going to pass out. It's so hard. That's not really what training is supposed to be about. Some performance things that we do at some point that push us in the performance direction where we are out of breath and we're doing crazy stuff. But like most of the time, training with weights should be about mind to muscle connection, seeing the muscle actually, stretching and squeezing, right? Our concentric and eccentric movements. And we should be progressively getting stronger. Now, I outline a really simple to follow workout plan inside of my Ripped Body Roadmap. If you want to copy that, just comment RIP below. The next thing I want to teach you on is nutrition. Okay. How the heck are we supposed to manage nutrition with all the temptation that surrounds us every day, right? The fast food, the convenience, man. It's like super crazy. I don't want to live in the kitchen, right? I don't want to be the guy who has to prepare a 5-star meal just to satisfy my food cravings and stick to my diet, And also, like, do I have to order a bunch of meals from a meal prep service? Like, what's the best route? Well, let me simplify it for you. What works best for the guys I coach is, number 1, we know a calorie target, a range that we're trying to land in from the total amount of calories that we eat. We got to get that established first so that we don't go over our calories. That will then put us in a situation where we won't even be able to lose fat. You have to be burning more calories than you eat to lose fat. It's called being in a calorie deficit. The second thing is we need to eat enough protein to maintain muscle, build muscle, keep our health where it needs to be, and our appetite under control. How much protein? Depends. A good starting point, whatever you want to weigh on the scale, eat about 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight every day. I outline this in the guide. If you comment RIPT, I'll send it to you. No worries. But If we get those two things right, our calories and our protein, man, we're off to the races. Now, how do we do that? What meals do we need to put together? Well, we got to look at the foods that you like. So I have a simple system that I think you will appreciate, or at least a framework for how to approach nutrition. I call it the 3 E's. Okay. It's got to be easy. So if the meals feel way too complicated, not going to do it. For me, I like to use the grill, air fryer, oven, and a pan sometimes to cook some eggs and stuff. But like, I don't like to have to prepare all these different things. I don't like a recipe that requires 20 ingredients. I want to like see a steak and potatoes, put one in the oven, air fryer, put one on the grill, and 15 minutes later I'm eating and I'm good. It's got to be enjoyable. So if I don't like the meals I eat, if I don't eat at least one thing a day that I enjoy, at least at some level, probably not living my best life. And so I would say you got to build some enjoyment into your day to day. Third thing, it's got to be effective. You got to be getting results. If it's easy and enjoyable, but you're getting fatter, it doesn't work. So we have to dial in the calories and the protein in a way that is easy, enjoyable, and effective. All right. That's it. Now, I could sit here and create a 30-minute video on the foods that I would suggest you eat. If you go through my channel, I have tons of videos on nutrition. But I like a meal rotation system. So I like to have 2 or 3 breakfasts, if you eat breakfast, or 2 or 3 lunches, 2 or 3 snacks, 2 or 3 dinners that are just my go-tos. And they're all about the same calories, easy, take about the same amount of time to put together. Family likes the dinners. Family likes some of the lunches. It's just easy. Like I have a sandwich that I like to eat. I have a breakfast sandwich I like to make. I have a couple dinners I'll throw together. It's real easy stuff. I also have a backup. So I have a meal prep delivery service if I ever need it. I don't use it all the time. But if I'm ever in a pinch and I'm like, man, I'm going into a week, it's insane. There's no way I'm gonna have any time to cook. Let me order 8 meals. These I got, 2 or 3 each day that I'm going to be super swamped, and we're rocking and rolling. Okay. So those are the 3 things we got to do, plus the mindset piece that I mentioned. So where do we start? How do you build a quick, action plan to just get right into it? Okay. So here's what I would do. 1, commit to a 30-minute movement or muscle session in the morning. Okay. So get up 30 minutes. That's your morning routine. Go work out or go for a walk. Second thing is plan your meals in advance. Write down, take 2 minutes. Just what am I going to eat? What time am I going to eat? Okay, cool. Got that. Done. Third thing is put your workouts on your calendar where you're in the gym, okay, or at your home gym or whatever. Schedule them out. Don't mess around. It could be that morning window that we just talked about, right? But put them on your calendar. Don't play games of like, yeah, if I get to it, if I have time or whatever. No, don't do that. Now, the third thing I would suggest, or fourth thing I would suggest, is make a reminder on your phone screen. What is important to you? You guys want to see what's important to me? Those amazing people right there, man. Those amazing people right there. Those are my squad. That's my squad. Okay. I want to be alive, right? Personally, I like to live. I'm sure you do too. I like to look good. So I feel like I'm in shape when I'm on camera here or whatever room I'm in. I have a beautiful wife. I don't want to look like a fat slob next to her. I have 2 boys who I want them to see a humble but yet hardworking and confident man that takes care of himself so that they don't become someone who's not taking care of themselves. At least I want to give them a shot in life. Okay. I coach other kids. And so I want to be a coach who's in shape. Otherwise I'm potentially risking them not listening or respecting me. And I want to feel good about myself. Okay. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I want to look good. I want to feel good. So let's remind ourselves of the importance of taking care of our health and fitness. I'm here to help you. Been doing it for 20 years. Work with thousands of guys who are probably experiencing something have experienced something you're experiencing right now. What I will tell you is take action. Your first action could be as simple as downloading the Ripped Body Roadmap. It is a thorough guide full of bonuses and resources. Your mind will be blown. You'll be like, how is this free? Comment the word ripped on this video. I will send it to you. And let's start making some magic, all right, with your health and fitness. We got this. I got your back. Life moves fast. Make it count. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.